this is the last video of the week. I'm going to talk about Phase 4, which is Saul Bass's only film as a director. I thought I'd finish the week off with a more fun film, something that's not dealing with sexual depravity or Egyptian politics. So Phase 4 is a science fiction movie that deals with the end of the world. I'm building towards the end of the world. It was made in the mid-70s. This is a film released just before Jaws, and my feeling is it would have done a lot better if it was released after Jaws, because the idea was a revenge of nature film, but there's also a sci-fi twist. So there's some elements in this film that's influenced by Andromeda Strain, which came out a few years before it. But it's also the Andromeda Strain mixed with Revenge of Nature, which is these ants develop intelligences and join together with a master plan. Which sounds stupid, but the idea is that there was a signal came to Earth and didn't affect anybody. Everyone thought, well, what happened there? Nothing happened. So people got on with their lives. Then this scientist realises the ants are starting to do stuff that's different from before. They're actually organised in a way that's very untypical for ants. Ants are meant to fight each other for survival and be kept down by other predators. Now they've joined together, they're fighting other predators off, they're growing in number. It's like something's wrong here. So he manages to get support from the government. This is a British scientist played by Nigel Davenport, to study these ants in this one area in America where this thing seems to be happening most. So he manages to get them to fund this and bring in an analyst who can look at data and correlate data and find patterns in data. He was played by Michael Murphy, who was in Woody Allen films, and he was the mayor in Batman Returns. He was in Tanner for Robert Altman. So he's one of the actors who floats through film. You know, he's always around somewhere. You know, he's one of those working actors who you always see once in a while. So, but here he's a young man, so it's quite interesting to see him as someone young. So these two scientists go to this resort, and it's this kind of dome, this silver dome, which is a lot of the high tech for the 70s, before the equipment, and they start to analyse the ants. And even through the data, the scientist, before anything really happens, the analyst starts to see, yeah, there's some weird patterns here, but nothing you can really define. They just seem to be waiting for something, but nothing you can point to and say this is worrisome. But during that time, they get the families from the area out of the area just in case, and so they think they're alone to deal with these ants. Eventually, Davenport, who's a bit of a cold scientist, he's going to do bad things for a reason, just to get his experiment to work, to see what's going on with these ants, because he's worried about it. I mean, I don't think he's one of those people who might not be cold in real life, but because it's he thinks there's something's really seriously wrong, he needs to be a bit colder than normal. And so he starts to go and trash the ants. The building these huge structures that they're going up as if they're they're almost there are these poles of ants, of ant growth that kind of resemble what you'd feel from Druid buildings like Stonehenge and things, where you just feel that something's up, there's some intelligence here. And it's almost mocking because it's there, but it's not revealing anything. So he goes and attacks that and destroys them all. And then he just sits back and waits for the reaction. And the reactions start to come at that point because the ants have had enough of them. And it turns out one of the families have been told to leave haven't left, and they get attacked, and most of them die in horrible ways. Only the girl survives, the young woman survives. The rest die due to the ants and the anti-ant chemical protection that the area has, which ends up engulfing all these three people who have been attacked by ants. This ends up choking them to death. So the scientists kill other people by mistake, but you don't realise till after. So that's early on, and then it becomes this this war between the humans and these ants who are just, there's so many of them, they're all so small, but they can get everywhere. So they can get into the facility and never be seen, and the analysts still try to find the patterns, what they're doing, and why they're doing it, and what's going on. And the phases are always phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. And you're seeing the ants' plan turn every time there's a new phase. There's an escalation and there's reasoning behind it, and they start to realise there is reason. They can communicate. Like the scientist sends messages to this anthill, which seems to be the base of their intelligence, and he gets messages sent back to him, which shows intelligence, which shouldn't be there with these ants. So obviously something's really wrong. And that's as far as I'm going to go, really, with the plot description. It's because it's a film it's very old, but it's very underseen, so most people watching this video will not have seen it. But that's as far as I can really go. It's 80 minutes long, so it's a very short film, but it's a very haunting film. It should be absurd, right? But it's not, because it's well directed and it's stylishly directed. Like, Saul Bass knew imagery. He knew what a telephoto lens could do. He knew what a wide angle lens could do. He knew how to stage things. They also knew, because his ants as a villain, he had to build them up, so he did all these micro photography elements of them. So you see them in nature, and you see them as a slow building threat. So even though sometimes it feels like there's too much footage of ants, by the time you need the ants to be a threat, they feel like a threat because they've done the build up to it by having all these shots that initially seemed a bit self-indulgent, but by the time you really get to the point of the film, they've actually built the threat enough. And it's also just the way he shoots it, like just the shot composition suggests threat just by the landscapes and by knowing lenses and knowing lighting, that it creates this sense of something's there, some intelligence is there that's can't be fingered, like that's it or that's it. You just know it's there, it's just in the air, it's just wonderfully done. It's just a wonderful atmosphere. The reason why it's 80 minutes long is this film feels like it's based on a short story. I don't think it was, it just feels like it though, because it's only like a short story structure. Like, set up, development, end. It feels like it could have been a 30-page short story, but it's been expanded to 80 minutes. But it works perfectly for 80 minutes. It couldn't be any longer than that, it wouldn't work. But it has the feeling of being based on a short story, or the story has its limits, you can only go so far with it. But even with that, because of the limitations, actually, in some ways, a sense of padding it out, he actually puts really interesting imagery up there that gives you a sense of unease. There's one scene where the hand opens up and you see ants coming out of it, and it's a pretty creepy image. The ending has some really creepy imagery as well. There's lots of wonderful moments of ants crawling over people's bodies, and it's just wonderfully done. It's just the whole thing. It's just this unease of the insect world. This microscopic world is now interacting with the human world, and humans have the advantage of size, but the ants have the advantage of like scale, and of the millions of them. So, and as you see as the film goes on, they can go en masse on top of someone and start eating at them, and it's pretty horrible. It's a wonderful film. It's really well done. It's also nice and weird the way 70s are. Like in the 80s, a lot of genre films, they wouldn't take chances of weird twists in it and twists and turns in the story. This film does. You'd be like, maybe that's too much. In this film, it just goes for it. It's like, I don't care if you don't know this ending, we're going to do this ending. It's that kind of feeling of abandonment, of any sense of this might not work. It's just, we're going to go for it, that's it. And that's what's wonderful about it. It's a wonderful film. I'd highly recommend seeing it. It's a B movie, but it's B movie done right. It's like it's a B movie shot as an A movie, but for any pretensions of an A movie. It knows what it is, but it's also shot with a lot of care. It's like it's Saul Bass's only time directing, and he really obviously wanted to make a good film, and it's a wonderful film. It really is. I highly recommend it. I think you can get it in Blu-ray in America. You can get it in Amazon streaming here. So just try and see it. It's wonderful. So I hope you enjoyed the videos this week. I'll be back next week with some more videos. But that's it for this week. Right, bye.